part of the problem.
We are part of the problem. If you can't solve the problem, be part of the problem.
That's the message. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Lee. How are you?
everybody.
Hot stuff.
I'm good.
Love
Nice
your
sweater.
shirt. Oh, man. You talk about a coincidence.
I know. Who knew? I didn't know we had the same shirt. We didn't know we were each going to wear it right at this
There's
moment.
a sign behind us that says
my
the
goodness.
same thing.
Where'd you get your shirt?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we got them at the same place. Lingua Franca. If you guys have not looked online at Lingua Franca, they'll put on it whatever you want.
I think they do. We were at an event,
No, they do.
and they customized our shirts.
That's true.
So I'm not sure if you could just type up, like, could
Right.
you please write, I'm amazing on it. But they have amazing.
What's the one?
Sweaters.
My other one that I had was status quo is for losers.
Yes.
And I just went up to her and I'm like, will you put that on the shirt? And she did, and I have it. So
I think we wore that one episode because I
Yeah.
took Billie Jean King's quote.
Right.
Remember, she was at the event
Right.
that is privilege. I mean, power is a privilege. And
power is a
then
privilege.
They customed these for us.
Yes. So we're feeling pretty powerful in our, gosh, they feel so good too.
It is
They're,
really nice.
oh my God, it's cashmere. It's
Really
nice.
And then they have some very
Right.
strong political leaning.
Yes.
Like, I decide.
I have that one too.
vote. Yep, you do. Yes. And so that's kind of
Yeah.
apropos for
Yes.
our, and we look kind of like we're running our own campaign.
We do.
Like
we
our
do.
team.
Vote for us. Our,
Ooh, good idea.
It's called, what is our platform? Be
Be
powerful.
Powerful.
Yes.
Holy shit, we should run.
We should run. I told you I should run. All my skeletons are out of the closet. I mean,
Right.
what's left, right? I mean,
You're the perfect
I'm sure
candidate.
somebody will come out of the woodwork and go, hey, remember me? I'll go, ooh, yeah. Forgot about you.
Thought I'd try to forget.
Yeah. I don't know why anyone would run, but the people that
Thank God they
need to
do.
run finally this year are running. At least we think so.
Yes.
So
Yeah, so we're gonna try not to,
here we go.
to tiptoe or piss anybody off, but it's just time to
Well,
keep talking about it. How do we do this?
How do you talk about politics? I mean, here we are in the fall of 2024 with the November 5th election around the corner. It's not just the elephant in the room, it is the room. Everyone is feeling it. I don't care if you've never voted in your life. Everyone feels the heaviness, the importance, the electricity of this election, and everyone has a strong opinion. I don't know who these independents are in the middle of the country, those 150 people that are going to decide the election. I'm like, where do y'all live? Like, when are y'all going to make up your mind? And how are you confused? You know? Like, which part of you? And I heard this morning, I actually had, I did. I have a thing on TV that said after Labor Day, which we're now
passed.
well past Labor Day in September, people finally start listening to what's going on in politics. If you're not, you don't have the news feed coming up like I do on my phone, and literally you do too. And
It's not, I don't have all that you do, but
Yeah.
I get the basics.
yeah, and so
You tell me the rest.
well, and we'll say it again. We've said it before. I will say it again. I have so many news feeds that I know what algorithms feed me. They feed me the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal. They feed me the LA Times, the Washington Post. They know where I lean. So what do? Every single day, I go to Fox. I go to all the other. I go to whoever they're not throwing at me. I go to there so I can see where America is and where other people are. But I know that most people don't have time to do all of that. But I would just say, if you are following one publication, one journalism, one TV show, one podcast, whatever you're following, look on the other side and see what the other side is saying. Because they're human beings just like you are. We are in this juxtaposition, in this incredible space that we're sitting in today with some of our very dearest friends on the other side of the aisle from us. And how do we have discussions like that when we feel like it's the really most important election ever, and so do they. And they don't understand us, and we don't understand them. Mm-hmm. How do you remain friends? And I think that's what we want to talk about today.
Right.
Because we are navigating, at least you and I are, friendship with two of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two dear friends that are on the other side of the aisle. And we've chosen for at least one of them not to speak about it.
Right.
We have the second friend, and the three of us understand where we stand, but we just leave it. Basically, we've agreed we disagree, and we're not talking about it. But that's also not a healthy family. That's also not a healthy relationship. And so I think that what we have to do, and we haven't done it yet, well, with our one we have, is just say our friendship is more important
Right.
than being right. You feel like you're right, I feel like I'm right. Is it more important that we're right with each other, or is it more important that we love each other? Because no matter what happens on November the 6th, we're all going to be in a nation where one side won and one side didn't. You and I, if you don't know where we stand, then you haven't been listening, but we'll tell you again. We are definitely, I don't think liberal is a bad word. Liberal has brought women the right to vote, has brought civil rights to this country. 50 years ago, women couldn't have a credit card. It's insane things that the liberals have accomplished in this country. They've been demonized, and by the way, I've been a conservative a lot. I mean, you guys know I've voted both sides of the aisle. Right now, I'm sitting on the liberal side because it's the only side that makes, to me, any sense at all. To me, I prefer science and history over chaos. And if you're listening to this, you're going to go, oh, blah, 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 whatever. I get it.
I think the conversations that we can begin to have with friends are going to be geared toward, this is what I believe, this is what I believe this person, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, what they stand for, what they're going to do policy-wise, what they're going to do for the country. And for me, that is unite the country. And so what I want to hear from somebody else, my friend who wants to vote for Donald Trump, for example, or anyone else, I want to hear why you're going to vote for him specifically, not try to convince you to vote the way I'm voting, but to hear what your conviction is. Because again, this seems so far divisive that it's hard for me to understand why someone would vote for him.
I'm just trying to follow as much information as I can. And yes, I do believe in science. And yes, I do know that history is correct. I know about history. It's not always correct, but I know history. For us to deny those two things are to, as your teacher told you, you're going to fail your class. You know, you can't deny history or science in high school and not make a passing grade. So I feel like I don't understand why it's cool not to accept history and to accept scientific evidence. That said, who would run?
Yeah, you did say
the crazy people. Yeah, we've got at least the people like Tim Walz. I mean, has there ever been a normal human that, like, why is he running? He's too nice of a guy. He knows how to fix a drain or something.
Right.
You know, there's all kinds of memes that are condescending and things like that. But honestly and truly, some of them that just say, if you can put together a complete sentence, I'm on your team. And that's the Democratic blue team right now. They're making sense. They have unity in mind. They have democracy in mind. They have freedom in mind. Not only are we two women, we've always been in a minority sort of thought about, whereas women are equal 50-50 in the country in population. We have always been in the minority where legislation comes down. Now that you and I find us in this other new position, which I never expected to find us in, and as being gay is, I'm like, wait, what? So we've got this double whammy happening that we would be not only not accepted, I mean, being not accepted is kind of bad enough, but like being illegal, I mean, to live your life is illegal and because of who you love. That doesn't seem like the United States of America or our founding fathers. That doesn't seem too much like that.
No, and I know that a lot of Christianity is playing a role in this, and it's
not true Christianity, Christian nationalism. Yeah,
yes, that's what I
because I'm a Christian to an extent. Yeah.
I believe personally that Christianity is teaching love and acceptance and kindness, and that's not what we're seeing in the Christian realm. And so it's hard for me to understand, you know, when we stand in front of people and love and accept them, why they pretend to, or
I don't think they pretend. I don't think anybody's pretending
right,
to
but
love
then
anyone.
If you can say,
Yeah.
I'm going to completely vote against you, not that we're the policy,
No.
the one ticket item at all, but for
Right.
example, it's just hard for me to
That's a
wrap
good
my
point.
head around.
That's a good point. There's 2 points you just
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
Don't vote on one single item.
Right.
If I voted on abortion, which is my one single item, you've heard my podcast, our podcast about me having an abortion. That has been a huge thing. But if that was the one thing that was making me vote, and I saw that the other side had everything else right, I'd go to that side. But what I'm voting for is democracy this time and freedom. I think you were talking about the religious aspect of this. And it's not religious. It's religious nationalism, which is a different.
Yes.
It's another form of control and power. Again, you think of the people that are really, truly religious, that are going to churches where the people they respect and believe are there for them and their spirit and their spirituality are indoctrinating. And I hate using that word because they always say gay people are indoctrinating our children. I'm like, oh, wow, really? Am I doing that? But anyway, that's really unfortunate. More than unfortunate, it's criminal, and it needs to stop. The way you stop people being led without even knowing it is to educate them. We're all busy people. But if we are just fired hardcore on one side, it behooves all of us, me too, to look exactly at the opposite person and have that conversation and read that article and watch that TV channel. And as hard as it is for me to watch Fox News, I hear what they're hearing. And therefore, I can understand what they feel. I really don't know who's going to win this election. You know, of course, I hope it's Kamala Harris and Ted Walz, but...
Tim. You were trying so hard to get Kamala right that you called Tim Ted.
Me and it could be Ted Lasso. But anyway,
didn't you have a shirt one time that was like, I don't know your name. You need something.
I need something.
I don't know. We need a new. Tell me
your
name
because
I don't know it.
Yeah, we should.
I'm calling lingua franca after this.
Exactly. Tell me your name. So, Tim, sorry. We've got to listen to each other, and we've got to wake up the next morning, and we've got to accept the election results. My guess is they might not be that next morning, but if they're not, when they come down, this country is more important than chaos and revolution and civil war. Democracy is at stake, and we need to fight for democracy, not for our guy or our gal. My daddy went to war for this stuff. Your dads, your brothers, your sisters, all these people in our lives. We have fought wars over and over and over to keep this democracy together. While all of a sudden, everybody's just decided that's no fun anymore.
I know.
Don't know.
Going back to the Christianity part,
Thanks.
I want
That's where I was going.
Feel a little bit about that like fear of change.
That's a good point.
That we're the slippery slope to hell.
Right.
Is confusing for me.
Change is very, I get that. Because change is very hard for almost all of us.
Yes.
And being uncomfortable with, you and I said it in that last podcast, those two women that were making out. And we are women that make out, okay? What's the matter with us, right? And we can't even like our own people because it's new, because it's sometimes uncomfortable, because you go, why doesn't that boy just dress like a boy and quit trying to be a woman? Guess what? He's a human being just like you, and he may be a Christian just like you. And it's so hard sometimes. And I think I forgive myself when I do it, and I want to forgive and accept people that are struggling with that. It's okay to struggle with it. It's okay to go, I don't get the whole pride thing. I don't get it.
Then don't do it.
Then don't do it. And remember the golden rule that Jesus taught us. Love others as we love ourselves. They're not coming for your children. If they come for your children, you'll be there for them. The books that they're reading, you have control over your children. Your kids don't have to read the books you don't want to have to read. We don't want to make this some national authoritarian government that says we can only read these certain books, or we'd be very much like, Nazi Germany.
Not the melting pot that you were founded
it's
upon.
your choice as a mom and dad to say, I want my child either homeschooled or to be in a public school, but you get the choice. still wear the bracelet every single day.
Yes.
You get the choice. That's all we're voting for.
Right.
And
And
if, yeah, go.
go.
Well, I was going to say, if you've got that one platform you're sticking on, you're like, yes, my side says that we'll have whatever it is.
Tax benefits,
whatever it is. Look at it as a whole. Let's get settled in back as a democracy, as a country, and then let's fight it out. But let's not fight on the streets. And let's not fight and tear each other apart and cause bloodshed. We're good at fighting in a legal environment. We've been doing it for over 200 years. And I'm loving some of these Republicans that are coming out. Liz Cheney, you think I like anything she says? Except her name is Liz.
Hey.
I do love her, though. She's my new hero. Because she and I disagree on just about everything in the world, but she agrees on one thing I agree on, and that is democracy and freedom. She wants to get back on that floor, which she has not been elected. She kind of sacrificed herself for this. She wants to see these people get back on the floor and argue it out the old-fashioned way and the progressive way that leads you to the next step. And the damn Republicans have got some damn good ideas, because I've been a Republican half my life, and I'm ready to see that happen again. They have got smart ideas. Get the people that are so hell-bent on destroying America out of there, get the smart conservatives in there, and let them show you how it's done. That's what Ronald Reagan did. That's what all those guys did. Dwight Eisenhower. I was even around then. These guys were smart. They didn't have to be, brainiacs, but they understood this country. They understood that we care about one another. They understood at the end of the day, I remember the Ronald Reagan story with Tip O'Neill. I think he was the Speaker of the House. He was a big-time liberal. Every day they would have a drink after whatever, the sessions in the House and in the Senate, and just be friends. That doesn't mean you can't argue. We argue all the time. Don't you argue with your best friends? That's what happens in America. So let's keep it that way. So kind of got on that.
Bye. We're good.
I think the point of our podcast today was getting along with one another.
How do you have the conversations?
Right.
When they're hard, when you are on not even different sides of the fence, on different planets. And I think what we're struggling with or trying to figure out is when you are on two different planets, where does the conversation even begin? And do you even have it? Or there's some people that you decide we can't have it, period. And this person, for whatever reason, reach out and try to discuss it. I mean, really, we've said already, like, the friendship means more, but how do you know when you've got to close the book?
Yeah.
Or try to turn the page to the next chapter, you know?
I would say, first of all, personal safety. If you're in a red zone or in your blue, or you're a blue, I'm not too worried about the reds in the blue zone, but if you're around a lot of people that disagree with you and they are angry, best not to speak. I really believe that. You got to take care of yourself. And I hate that we have to actually say that in 2024, that we have to worry that if we wear a blue T-shirt that supports Harrison, that you could be in danger.
Literally.
So that is a very first thing you want to do. And the second thing you want to do is to know that your job is not to convince those people.
That's right.
That your job is to, as always, model the behavior of your best self. In this studio, we have a diverse crowd, and a lot of them do like to talk about politics, and a lot of them do disagree with me. The very last thing I would ever do to those people is to tell them they're wrong or try to engage them in what I think. What I'm engaging them in is what they're coming in here for. And that's a workout and friendship and community. But even outside of this community, outside of this building, running into those very same people, my job is to love people. And I don't mean that in a gushy way, but that love means respect. Love means care. Love means treat them the way I would hope they would treat me. For me to broach a subject that I know very good and well is going to upset somebody, then it's probably, on an individual basis, you're going to have to judge.
Well, and my biggest takeaway and problem with all of this is that we are in an environment where we have to discuss whether or not we're going to talk about something with our friends, because it is that divisive. The fact that we live in a political climate that is so divisive that we can't freely say who we're going to vote for and be proud of it, or wear the shirt or put on the sticker or have normal conversations. The fact that we're in that divisive of a world is the problem.
It is the problem.
And I am just going to blame someone like Donald Trump, who all he's done is divide and taunt and speak the way he does, is why we're here.
We're voting for civility.
Civil rights.
I remember my aunt Isabel and my mother used to get on the phone every year that there was a vote. And one of them would say, well, I just canceled your vote. They've always voted opposite. One would vote for the Democrat, one would vote for the Republican, and then they'd laugh about it. And then they'd meet for lunch and they'd just, yuck it up. And I'm like, what happened to yucking it up, right? Yeah. So,
but to that point of the cancel vote, let's remind everybody to vote.
To vote.
That because I'm A and you're B and we're going to cancel each other out to think it doesn't matter.
Right.
It matters.
It matters.
It
And
matters.
this go round, you've got to have a valid ID. This is a new rule. And that is something that we didn't have to have 4 years ago. So valid ID, check it out, make sure it's up to date. Just go online, find out, we'll put it in the show notes exactly where you can go register to vote. And if you're 18 and older, it is your job.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it's your privilege. It is your privilege. But this year, it is more than a privilege. It is a necessity. I feel really good about the young people that are young. I feel good about 18 to 28, 29 years old. These are the people that are going to have to live in this climate that we have, my crowd, the boomers, have pretty much destroyed. And I know it.
Truly.
And that are going to have to live with no abortion rights, or even not. We always think it's just abortion.
Right.
The rights of women's health to go into a clinic when you're having a miscarriage or you're trying to get IVF. And I know Trump is going IVF. Blah. Do you believe everything you're hearing there? We all know where human and particularly reproductive rights will be represented, and that will be in the Harris campaign. I think that's why we just settle it out and then we fight it out. But back to that, I'd say as far as your good luck at Thanksgiving this year, thank God the election will be over. But I mean, as far as talking with your family and friends, I just say do the best we can and have your boundaries. Really and truly, this is a year to protect your own, not just your physical health, but yes, we talked about that a minute ago, but your mental and emotional health. You've got to just set your boundaries and find ways to love around this divisiveness. And then once we are past this divisiveness, hopefully, and we do have a government that still works and is still a democracy, we can fight it out the way we know how to do it best. And that's through the democratic process.
Well, I think the local vote is super important,
it
too.
is.
So we've spoken, obviously, about the presidential race, but our local candidates and governors and city councilmen and women.
It starts very down.
Education.
So on the right side, the Trump side, this Project 2025 is real.
That's a problem.
And I've heard people on the right say that it's some kind of not real document, but it's actually written by the Republicans. And I'm amazed. They actually published it before this, but it is in this is getting rid of public education. I believe that is some really strange and scary stuff that's so dark I haven't delved into why that's happening. But we know that we need public education. And I think one of the things they're saying is that public education is doing that indoctrination, whereas the truth being said, when you take a kid out of public education and you teach them what you want them to know, that's more like indoctrination. I can't say that word.
I like that you keep trying that.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to watch me slob. We do the best we can as parents.
That's right.
But there is a beauty to children being able to see what's out there and to come home with questions. And then when they get to be a certain age, an older child, to be able to make their own opinions and not necessarily be those of their parents.
Right.
And those of us that think we can control our children that way, I'm just here as a parent of a 41-year-old. You have no control. You can think you can tell them what's real and what's not real, and they will make their minds up. And that's the beauty of humans. And that's how much I respect my daughter.
Right.
We're not little automatons.
No, and that's what I've been saying for a long time, too, about social media and the influencer game where we all have to look alike.
Yeah.
And this very interesting and alarming to me tradwife
Oh, my
thing
God.
that's happening.
Yes.
So I learned it's traditional wife, and so somebody said some of them are satire. Oh, that's funny. I'm like, I don't know why we're making light of the tradwife trend. Like, if you haven't seen it, just look it up. But it's women who are so beyond even like a 1950s stereotype of a stay-at-home mom, which I honor and support and have been in phases of my life. Like,
sure.
Do whatever makes your family happy. Whether or not you breastfeed, to whether or not you go to work, to whatever. The whole point of feminism is giving women the power to do what they want.
Yeah,
So
stay
I
home,
am not
bake,
trying to
right.
trash a group. I'm just saying this tradwife trend that is an overblown production of women staying at home and cooking and cleaning and dressing perfectly, and this weird pressure is just the most alarming thing I've ever seen. And so this reversal of feminism and power,
Well, can we
is
just say,
blowing my mind.
the one thing that blows my mind right off the bat when you showed this to me, and I just like lost my mind, was these are women that are making paper from scratch. Okay, great. Cool. I don't know how you even begin to do that, but good for them. But they're also these traditional stay-at-home, but they're on Instagram.
Right.
They're and TikTok.
They're playing the
And
game.
They're playing the game. And so how real and authentic is that? And second of all, if it's just a game like, hey, this is how I make cookies from, or fruit, the one you made me watch, she made me watch, was the one that was making Fruit Loops from scratch. I'm like, wow, well, first of all, I don't like those, but second of all, wow. I mean, they're just going to gobble them up in 2 seconds, and it took you 2 days or something to make them. That's not the point. That's so fascinating and cool that somebody wants to do that. But what is that motivation?
I don't know.
What in the world is that motivation? And that is that, to me, it just, you just smell a rat here. You smell a rat. I can't put my finger on it, but I smell it, and it's real strong. I do respect people that have separated themselves from society and said, here's who I am. I am Amish. These are my people. But I am like, these people that want to like pull their kids out of school and start indoctrinating them into the way they think and all that stuff. That's a whole different animal.
Yeah, and I just think about the pressure on women, the things we see about having to look a certain way, be a certain way, all be the same. You have to look like this.
Yeah.
The tradwife trend, what I'm thinking is, okay, my 16-year-old daughter cruising through TikTok, Instagram, whether or not it's funny, real, whatever, she sees it, that's going in.
It goes in.
It's like all those things about what a woman is, what a woman should be, the pressure to be a certain way. We're not a melting pot anymore, and that pisses me off. I mean, it's just unfair, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. I mean, how many meltdowns have I had that I'm just like, I'm not good enough. I'm not fit enough. I don't look like the fucking influencer in her set doing 3 ab moves, acting like she's some fitness genius who cares about you.
It messes with your brain.
Messes with you.
It messes with you. It really does. I mean, and I'll take that back to my old days of modeling. I used to look at pictures of myself and go, I don't look that good. Well, that's because I had makeup on and I had filters and things.
It can mess with your brain.
Oh, it definitely does. And we're all, we're adult humans. And the 16-year-old, and
Right.
I don't know what that's like. I really don't know what that's like.
Gonna become of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're also getting trans people on TikTok and all that. I mean, I hope they're getting like a balance of all this stuff. This is a funny story. So my granddaughter, I'm on TikTok. We talked about. I'm a TikTok grandma. And I'm on it because actually I'm on it because Huffington Post asked me to get on it for something. But then I didn't do anything.
Toot, toot.
I know, tooting my horn again. But then I didn't.
Just throwing HuffPost.
Then I didn't do it for a long time. And then my granddaughter goes, hey, we are on TikTok. We're going to make some videos. And we did. And we had a blast.
It's cute.
Point being, every time I go on TikTok, all I see are 12 to 14-year-olds dancing and doing the same thing. And I'm like, why can't I? How do I find all these political things? How do I find the ones that I just want to see? Because the algorithm is throwing me the 12-year-old mind. So just be aware. That's all we can do. That's all we can do is tell our kids,
it's here.
You're going to go to public or private or whatever school. Keep your eyes and your brain open and know that the stuff on social media is coming directly to you because they know you want to buy that, eyelash conditioner. or if they send me the
You are a
tread,
victim.
they will never
You
send
are
me
a
the
victim.
tradwife thing. Because I looked at that and I was like, and I bet you it actually $1.
Now our phone's
Now
listening.
when I
You're
pick
gonna
up my
get a
phone at the end of
whole
this,
slew.
it'll be like tradwives up and down my
Jeez.
feeds.
I want you to be a trad-wife.
Yeah, I am gonna. That's my goal.
Let's get you viral on TikTok as my trad-wife. What
First
would
of
you make?
all, I pick up the phone and I go, DoorDash. Excuse me, do you have some paper and scissors and maybe some Crayolas? Oh, perfect. Bring those and maybe some glue. Okay, bye.
Bye.
And then we would wait on that to get there, and then we'd paste shit together. That would be my trad life video. Yeah, that would be it.
My daughter said that Facebook is to Instagram,
Yeah.
as Instagram is to TikTok. And
Yeah.
so we're starting to.
So what did I
age
do
out of
last night
Instagram.
when you and I were
made a
together? I
TikTok.
made a TikTok of the two of us.
We're part of the problem.
We are part of the
Jesus.
problem. If you can't solve the problem, be part of the problem.
That's the message. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. But anyway, we're
Just
just
towing right
yeah.
down politics.
That's right. Oh God. Okay, back to it. Yeah. So we're gonna roll in here. We're gonna roll in here on November 6th.
Scared.
If you are in a family that you're afraid to tell them who you're going to vote for, just don't tell them who you're going to vote
That's
for.
true. That's
I'm not
fair.
kidding. Matter of fact, I tried to get my granddaughter in there with me one day, and they were like, "Nope, she can't go in this voting booth with you." I'm like,
Awesome.
"She's not going to influence me. She ain't got TikTok in here." But the point being is, vote your heart.
Vote, period.
Vote.
Vote your heart.
Go register to vote, and take really good care of yourself between now and then, and even after. It's going to take us a while to heal from these wounds that we've had from this divisiveness, and we're going to have to call it Trump. That's a divisive situation there. We're going to do it together. That's how we make it work. We do it together, and we do
Deal.
it with the golden rule in mind. So, all right, are we done?
Yeah, I was just thinking I want to send
I'm like-
Kamala these shirts.
I think she'll go. She is powerful.
I know.
Yeah, but no.
I am powerful.
Yeah, just Kamala, you are powerful. Yeah, but it's never about Kamala. It's never about Trump. It's never about a human being. It is about all of us together, no matter what we think, no matter what we feel, knowing how much we are united as one person if we respect one another and care about how they feel. Let's end on that because
Let's pick a good leader.
yes, we got this. We got this group. We can do this. Be powerful, right? I'm going to wear this to the polls.
To the polls,
Yeah.
baby. Take it to the polls.
All right. Love you.
you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to us today, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can now find our podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. If you liked it, please share, rate, and review. We love fun. And we hope you'll work out with us online or in studio at HilliardStudioMethod.com.